like I said, 0% towards profit. Have you allocated money for tax aside generally, or are you kind of, when a tax bill comes, you're then rushing to make the money for it? Which happened for you? Were you putting money aside ready for your tax payments, or no? So it's, for most people that do this test, it's usually 0% towards tax, 0% towards profits, and then generally, like, you know, either low operating costs and a high owner salary, above 50% of the money, or the inverse. It's like 70% costs and they're taking 20 to 30% for themselves. That's generally how these assessments pan out if you do your historical thing. So you just need a cash flow system in place then that says, you know, when money does come in, you're going to allocate that cash flow to those buckets immediately. So start with the ones you have 0% tax and profit, and start for the next quarter, just start putting 1% aside into those buckets. So would you say right now, like your most of the revenue that comes in, are you taking most of it for yourself and have less costs, or do you have high costs and take less for yourself?
High costs, take less.
Okay, so you're probably on say, all right, now like 70% of your revenue goes towards costs and 30% you take for yourself. Yeah. So we need to move that closer towards 70% of costs down to about 30% of the revenue on costs to be leaner, and then aim for, instead of 20% for you or 30%, we move up to 50% for you. At the same time, we want to release 5% into profit and 15% into your income tax kind of segment as well. So the way we do that is, you know, if you start by, same thing as Nicole, can you take 10% off your operating costs if you have to? Right? Make that cut, rip the band-aid off. Now you've got 10% extra to play with, and you could immediately start by putting 5% extra to your owner's comp. So now you take 35%. You could put, and you've got another 5% to play with you've saved now, so if you've shaved off 10% of your operating costs, you could put 5% to your owner's comp. You could put 4% towards your tax target of 15, and you put 1% into profit each month now. And then you're just going to make the company work on 65%. It's got to run on, or 60%, sorry, you've got to run on 10% less. So you're forced now to work on a leaner company and not spend out things you can't afford yet. These cash flow problems, again, it's just the company's paying for things it can't really afford yet. You're paying for the company you want it to be, not the company it is. So that's the first stage, like boom, 10% cut. Most people can do that, and then try and just operate like that for the next quarter, sustainably. On the start of the next quarter, then say, right, can we chop another 5% off the operating expenses, bring it down to 55%. Now I've got another 5% you can allocate to the other three that need to increase: profit, tax, and owner's comp. And build up those where proportionately you think is needed the most. End of the next quarter, chop another 5% down. And you know, in about, again, it took you a while to get into this position, you're not going to get out of it. It's a business diet, it won't happen overnight, but maybe in 6 to 12 months, you know, you can then, and if you do it, you know, in 6 to 12 months, by slowly rearranging the percentages, you're not going to disrupt the flow of the company. You can't just chop 30% of your costs, because that would be disruptive to the company. So by slowly bringing it down, it's like reducing calories slowly. It's sustainable, it's easier on the mindset, easier on the culture of the business. And then at the same time, if you're doing, like Nicole, again, you're looking at your 6 key assets, and you're looking at, okay, I'm still spending money on these things, how do I make more money back from what I'm already spending on? Then you're growing your revenue at the same time. You should be growing your profitability then, because now you're forced to make more money with what you already have and what you've already paid for, whilst you're systematically shaving off, paying a bit less for it every time. It's like the tube of toothpaste, right? We get to the end of the toothpaste and we think it's empty, but then we start squeezing it from the top and a little more comes out, and then we go, it's definitely empty now, but you still can't be bothered to go to the shop, right? So then you start twisting it, right? And in the end, you twist it and you get like a little tiny drop. But it's like that, right? When you really look at your finances like that, you can squeeze out more than you really think. But really squeeze the business, you'll squeeze out more profits, or you'll cut down your costs the same way. You really, in desperate times, you really can do it. And that's a small price to pay, because again, it took you 3-4 years of bad habits to get to this point. It just takes 6 to 9 months of good habits to reverse engineer it. And so again, same thing, that's why I say if your growth strategy is working, your leads, sales, retention are coming in, good. Then just measure that against those cash flow actuals, and am I systematically arranging my cash flow so I'm allocating that money and managing the money properly? And obviously looking at my new operating expenses budget now, if I make 10,000 this month and your OPEX is now at 50% of the revenue, well, if you make 10 grand, you can't spend more than 5 grand to make that 10 grand. If you are spending more, either your cost is still too high or you're not earning enough for the outlay. And again, for Fit Pros, the business is different, but Fit Pros mostly, you'll work your costs down to a limit, but then it comes a point you can't pay less rent, for example, you can't negotiate everything down. There does come a point for Fit Pros and health professionals usually, where you're just not making enough money back on what you have spent. Like your lease, if your lease is a big one, right? Another key asset I forgot to mention was like your facility. You have space and you have time, 2 dimensions in your facility. Can you tell me, you're paying say, $3,000 a month for a facility on rent, and you're paying, let's say if it's 1,000 square meters, you're paying like whatever it is, like X amount per square meter. What are you earning back per square meter? What does your facility make per square meter? Right? You need to know those kind of numbers too, right? If one of your biggest outlays is for rent, are you making back the money on the space? First of all, if I'm paying £1,000 a month for this room, right? Look how much space is not being used right now. Right? And even in my business out here, right? I could have a table here with products on it. Wouldn't cost me anything more, but I could make use of 2 square meters by putting products on there, and I could make more money, right? So same as you guys, could you put a vending machine in, like a fridge, a shelving of clothing, merchandise, something that's dead space? You can put something there that immediately now starts taking money off the shelves. Then there's time. Are you maximizing the time slots you're paying for? So most of us, again, we pay for a 24/7 lease. We only use it 5 hours of the day. What could you do to make money from that lease? On the other days, on the off-peak times or on the weekends. Could you run a workshop once a Sunday and invite people in? Could you, let someone else use that space when you're not using it? In our gyms in Cardiff, we work with a guy who does certifications every 6 weeks. He offers his level 2-3 certification program, and that person needs a gym space to use to deliver his course for a weekend. So one weekend every 6 weeks, when we're finished in the morning, this guy pays us £1,000 to use the facility. Right, and we charge him 15% of everyone he has on the course. They paid him like £2,000 to be on the course, so we make that money too. And that basically covers every kind of 3rd or 4th month we have a free rent period essentially we paid for, which over a year, again over the macro, we've got 3 months rent paid for. So we only actually pay 9 months of rent a year from our expenses. Right, and plus that guy now is also building a list of certified trainers, and we say to him, hey, partnership then, network, we say, what you want, more value for that person is you want to give your newly certified trainers some good work opportunities, right? So your best candidates, the ones you think have got potential, send them over to us and we'll give them a trial. And he's like, wow, thank you so much, that would really look good on me. If I can help them get work after they've paid me lots of money for a certificate, that would be awesome. Let's work together. He has an asset of talent, we have an asset of clients. So we can go out there and try and find our own people again, or we can just leverage his assets. We know what we have, we know what they have. And so that's space and time as well. So look at ways, if you're paying a big outlay for your space, find all the ways to squeeze the toothpaste and squeeze more out of it. Anything else, Mike? Was that good for now, yeah? Cool. Is that everybody? Any other questions, guys? We all know what to do? Yeah. Cool. And you guys, again, if you need any more clarity, Michael and Nicole, again, you've got the piece of paper there as well. You can see if you want to book a call with JP, one of our team, and you want to, again, like I said earlier, you want to take all your notes and you want to, you've probably got a lot of notes there. JP will just help you lay it out and kind of say, like, here's where you start, and give you some more guidance one-on-one, which for half an hour, which might help you. You can just text the number, I think, and it'll sort it out there. Okay. Is he good? Or shall I sack him?
That was good.
Okay, guys, good. Well, we all got what we needed, yeah? It was good for everyone? We're all clear? Any questions for Liam?
You mentioned about some follow-up stuff. How do we get them?
I can send them to you. If you add me on Facebook, I'll just message them to you, or I can send them to Justin and I can disseminate them.
Thank you.
Do you want to give away a copy of your book?
Yeah, we can do.
We think of a fun game for people to do it. A squat competition or something.
Planking competition.
Oh, we was up for a plank competition to win a book. It's a really good book. It's, Liam's got a copy of his book over there. It's on all things online marketing, help you with the sales copy, with your messaging, your content. Who wants it?
36 reviews on Amazon. Dan Meredith wrote the intro. That's why.
Oh, what if I could? Can't buy you wait till you know you
Can't even give them away.
Right, guys, cool. So you all got what you need, yeah? All good to wrap up then?
You're going to do a competition on your own.
All right, guys, good stuff. Thanks for coming down, and I hope you got value out of that today. We love disseminating your businesses, but it's out of love. Hope you can see that. So yeah, we'll see you at the next. Well, the next event is going to be the immersion in Cyprus. That's going to be October the 11th to the 13th. So again, mentorship clients, you're already enrolled on that. That's covered in your mentorship. But anyone else, if you want to find out more about that or learn more about how we pretty much kick your asses like this for 3 days in Cyprus whilst having some fun, then come and have a chat anytime you want. All right, and again, big thanks to Liam for coming down as well today and helping out with some good stuff. Okay, guys, good stuff. I don't know what we're gonna do now. Actually, we're just gonna hang around for a bit, pack up here, and then we'll go grab a drink somewhere. Cool. Well done, guys. Good stuff.